Hi, this is Greg in Pensacola, Florida. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Tonight we're going to take a look at a modular sci-fi corridor system, and this is by Corvus Games Terrain. And Steven contacted me about 12 days ago, asked me if I'd like to take a look at some files and maybe put them up on the channel. So I said sure, so he sent me a pack of files for this corridor system, and I started printing them out, and I was really impressed with the stuff when it started coming out of the printer. If you've been around this channel 4 years plus, you know that I used to do Her Starts, and I did Her Starts has something similar to this with the sci-fi corridor system for games like Space Hulk and things like that. And now we got the brand new Necromunda that just came out. So this terrain is pretty popular and it's going to be pretty hot too. So he sent me the pack. I went ahead and printed it out. I threw some files on all four of the CR10s in the back between the 10, 10S, Mini, and Enlarged. And I thought the prints came out great. They look really, really good. And so what I was going to do is just kind of take you and show you individually some of the pieces right here. Then I'm going to stop the camera, and then I'm going to clip some of these OpenLock tiles that need to be clipped so I can put the pins in there. And then just put together a little small room and stuff like that and throw a 40K fig or two on there so you get a sense of scale. But I'm going to put links to his website. So the STL files are for sale. It's €13, which when I looked up tonight was about just a little bit less than $16 US if you wanted to buy the files, you know, right from his website. And he also has a printed option too. And I'll put, you know, as usual, I'll put screenshots up of, you know, of his site and things like that. And so he does a printed option of this, which I think is a 53-piece set. So it's pretty nice. You definitely need to go check out what he's doing on the site. He already has an expansion in the works for this that should be about a month out, and I'm hoping to get to preview that on here too. So the very first thing when I saw it was, you know, this diamond plate flooring. I know you're like, oh, it's just a floor tile. But if you take a look, I mean, this diamond plate is really nice. And this was one of my favorite pieces out of the old Her Starts. I used to cast and cast and cast these all the time. And now to be able to put 12 to 16 of these on a printer bed and just let them print overnight into the next day, I mean, they come out really good. They're using the new OpenLock system. I don't know which. I think this is version 5 or higher. Oh, when it kind of switched to this new piece on the bottom. I'm not familiar with the versionings, being that I've never built anything into it, but some of the files I've been getting from other designers, it's now they're all using this new later system, which this is nice because I don't have to clip anything on these tiles, so I can just use the pins, slide them in, and hook all these together. But that's the diamond lock piece, so I just wanted to show you that. And then here's just kind of one of your steel X pattern pieces. Again, I used to love this type of piece when I was doing the casting on there. And, you know, the thing that's nice with the 3D printing is you just start to print and walk away. You know, there's no powder, there's no water, there's no mess, there's no curing, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, I know people say that 3D printing and the casting, but, I mean, if you look at the quality of that print, you know, this is coming off of, you know, a sub $600 printer on there. I mean, these are really, really nice. Well, I'm going to hop in here because when I was editing the video, I found out I rambled on for another 12 minutes showing off individual tiles. And what we really want to see is what's down here in front of us anyway. So what I've done is I've mocked up 2 rooms from, I took it out of a scenario book from Space Hulk. And that would be this book right here. And the game is from Games Workshop. And it's about derelict spacecraft that have been caught in a warp storm and crushed together, and teams of Space Marines go on to find either lost technology to rescue somebody, and of course there's alien-esque creatures called Gene Stealers that go against the Space Marines. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I've got a couple of the miniatures from the board game and I'll put it on here. But basically what I wanted to show is I've got a completely clipped together piece up here. And what I'm going to do is we'll talk about this one back here, which I didn't completely clip, and then zoom in up here. So one of the nice things about OpenLock is that it's a standard by which to build. And so your floor tiles, you know, these are 50mm by 50mm floor tiles. You can sit there, and if I do a 50mm floor tile, if I design one, I should be able to take a Corvus Games tile and clip them together, and they're completely compatible. That's what's awesome about the OpenLock system. There's two other systems out there that I know of that are using clips right now. You've got DragonLock, that's been around, you know, as long as the OpenLock system, and Devin Jones from OpenForge, I believe is the name of it, is also doing a clip system. And then the systems themselves all have compatible clips so that you can use pieces from one system on another. But what's nice with this is that if you're going to a game night at your game store, if you're going to a con to set up for a con event or something like that, it's really nice to have the 3D terrain on the board. It draws eyes from the people that are in attendance. You might have people that have never played before, and all of a sudden, you know, you make new friends. You sit down, you have a nice game night. You know, you're throwing dice, eating pizza, drinking beer. You know, you're just having a good time. You know, you're not behind a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One or something like that by yourself the whole time. So it's social on there. So what's this do? It draws the eye in versus a flat piece of cardboard. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So transporting, and that's one of the big things. The Hearthstart stuff made beautiful Space Corridor terrain. And if you want to see a video on that, go look back about 4 years in my videos where I used to do plaster casting, and I was working on a Space Corridor system. It was just too much. I mean, it was just too much work, and I did it all at once, and that was really bad. I should have never done that. I should have managed my way room by room, tile by tile, kind of through that system. You can do that with the 3D printer. Luckily, with the 3D printer, you're not working with dust and plaster and water and a mess and curing and dehydrating and painting and gluing everything together. Here, you load your files up, you hit print, come back the next morning, take the tiles off, and repeat until you're done. So back here, you can assemble as much of this as you want or do not want. And so right here, if you look, I kind of do a little exploded view. You got a 3x3 room back here, and I just moved these walls away. And so I put together the corner. You know, I just clipped them, you know, right here on the wall. So you see that one clip. It just clips in, you know, and so I can put all 3 clips in there. I don't need to. The OpenLock clips are great. They're super tight. They work really well. So what's nice, especially if you're doing an RPG and you got a good GM, you know, and your your players decide to do something that you didn't expect, which they always do. If you have some kind of pre-assembled stuff, you can slap this down really quick. You got a nice room. The adventure keeps on going. So for more of a, we're going to reproduce a scenario in a board game, or, you know, like Space Hulk or something like that, you may clip it all together and just bring it room by room in a box, and then 5-10 minutes you're ready to go. Because that's one of the big things, is setup time. Who wants to set up for 2 hours for a 1 hour game? And so if you have a block of time at a con that's 4 hours long, do you really want to spend your 2 hours putting it together? So what Steven did at Corvus is he made some beautiful pieces. These all work together, no matter how you click them together. So if you look right here, if you were going to do Space Hulk itself, you could start out just by printing this, because that's how this game is played. It's played basically on a 2D board, you know, and that's their version of a door, would sit like that. So here I am. If I just printed out the floor tiles, and here's my door right here. So just give you an idea, you don't have to print everything at once. You can start right here, print this, that replicates what's in the book, then start adding in your other stuff, and you can see how quick you can put, you know, something together without even having to clip it all. So I just wanted to show that there's no requirement to have to print and fill every lock at a time. You can print this up as you go, and that's what's really nice with this system. And the other thing that's nice is if you like the Corvus terrain, you purchase it less than $16. I'm doing another video on Sunday for another guy that's doing a Kickstarter that is OpenLock compatible. If you buy his Kickstarter stuff, now you've got more stuff, more variety. So everybody's table is going to look a little different. So let me take this off here. I'm going to slide this back and zoom in a little bit more, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about some of the game pieces on this, and just give you kind of a little bit closer look at the terrain. But by now, if you're a Space Hulk player, you should have already headed to the website and bought it. I'm telling you right now, you want this terrain for your Space Hulk game. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, I've pulled in on this one piece just a little bit, just so you could get a better look of how this looks all together. And you can transport this just like this. The only thing moving around are the doors because they're supposed to come in and out. But this just gives you a look. Do a little complete rotation of this piece right here. But how nice is that? You can get, you know, a big Amazon box or a plastic bucket from like Lowe's or something like that, and fill it up with the terrain in this state, and click the click. You know, you got your scenario down at the game store and you're ready to go. And so I just wanted to show this off again. This is the tile from the Space Hulk game, and this is a 3x3 with 3 exits. And so if I put this tile down here like this, it's in the same orientation. What I have here is 3 exits and then the 3x3 tile. Yeah. So when you look at the game piece sitting on this tile, you can see that it pretty much fills up that whole square. Yeah, down here with these 50 mil squares that you've got on the table, much more room. It just looks better. And let me tell you, if you were going to sit there and play on the tabletop one night with your buddies, what would you rather play on? The flat cardboard, or would you rather walk in and see this on the table? My answer is that I'd rather see this on the table. So Steven did a great job. He has a great website. It's clean. It looks good, just like his design work is here. You know, like I said, it's 13 euros, I believe is what it is on the website. Just under $16. It's a couple value meals at Hardee's nowadays or McDonald's or whatever, and you've got some nice terrain. If you've never used OpenLock before, it's great. The whole basis of the system is this clip right here. Of course, I put orange in my hand. Is this little clip. And basically what happens is this clip slots in, and this tile right here is a tile from the video that's going to come out on Sunday. And I can take one of Steven's tiles from Corvus, and we just come right over here, we give it a click, boom, done, compatible on there. So this is how you grow this system on there. You can use all Corvus, and that's all you can use, all you want to use, or you may use a little bit of Corvus, you may use a little printable scenery. There's some other designers out there that have done OpenLock. There's tons of OpenLock stuff on Thingiverse. So like I said, it'll really change up your game table. It'll make it look good. You know, I don't have enough good things to say about this terrain. He's done a really good job with that. You know, again, here's some of the pieces, some of the longer pieces. You know, you can, like I said, that's clipped together, you know, like this, and it just, boom, done. It's not going to go anywhere. You know, so super solid. You know, it's sturdy. I print with 10% infill. These were all done on the CR10s in the back. I'm super happy with how everything came out. So I just wanted to show off this terrain. You know, if you haven't seen it before, I think he's kind of a new designer that's out there. He might be doing some Star Wars Legion stuff also, which is going to be nice. But he does have an expansion coming for this. And if you're a Necromunda player, you know, if you're a GW guy, go buy on there. Because he's got an expansion coming from this, so I'm sure it's going to be just as clean. And we've already talked, and I don't care if I got to buy the files. I'll show them off myself, even if I got to buy them, and put them up on the channel. But I was really glad that he reached out to me. Corvus Games Terrain, link in the show notes. You can buy the STL files. You can buy the printed files from him also if you don't have a 3D printer and you're looking for something for your game night. So it's a great piece of terrain. I thank you for sending it to me to show it off. And I've got another video coming out Sunday for a Kickstarter. I've got a 27-month Maker Gear M2 review after that. And TiVo Little Monster, which I've been building for like 4 or 5 days out there, will be another printer review, I think the following weekend. So lots of stuff coming up. Right now I am printing more than I can record, which is a good thing, because it used to be I was always waiting on my printers. I didn't have enough printers to keep up with the channel. So now I need to keep up with my printers to put stuff on the channel. So that's kind of why I broke into the video, because I didn't want to talk for 40 minutes. I'm going to really try to keep stuff 20-25 minutes max. There's no reason to do a 5-minute video on terrain, but lots of stuff coming up. But the stuff tonight, Corvus Game Terrains, Space Corridor system. This is the very first pack that he's got out. Go check it out. And you guys have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.